Okay, wasabi. So for today, we will be comparing this Comandante C40 manual grinder with my very own Porlex manual grinder. So if you're interested to see how the difference will be in terms of their taste, in terms of their consistency, then please keep on watching. Alright, so here with me is my very own Porlex manual grinder. This is the mini, and comparing it to Comandante C40, I was actually surprised. It came in a very huge box compared to the one that I'm used to. So this is my Porlex Mini. I got this for 3,000 pesos. And this Comandante C40 is actually available at Candid Coffee PH. I will link it down below. And this would cost you about 15,000 pesos. Let's just peek into each box to see what are the things that you will be expecting whenever you buy your Comandante. Right, so the box looks like this, and the manual. Okay, and then there's some info card. And here is the manual grinder. So you have your body, it looks like this. Here's the manual knob where you can modify the coarseness. It also has this glass ground bin that you attach there. Okay, and here is the lid. So this is a plastic lid that you attach here and then do the grind. All right, so let's leave, and then there's nothing left. Usually there's another one here which is an extra amber colored glass grounds bin, but hindi na muna niya sinama. Okay. So let's just set this aside before we proceed to the next. So here is my Porlex Mini. When you open it, it's very straightforward. So it comes in this like small manual. It's in Japanese, and there's also a translated version in English, so you can read through that. And that's it. So yeah, and here's how the box looks like. It's very simple. And yeah, so you just attach it like that. It comes attached already. So here's the manual adjustment of the burr. You can do a quick comparison of the two burrs. Okay. Okay. So here's how it looks like. So let's do a quick demo and a quick comparison on how different they would be. Alright, so let me just get some beans, do a quick grind, and let's brew some coffee. Alright, so for today, we will be brewing this Ethiopian beans Haile Masha from Joseph. I will also link him down below if you want to order some of his beans, okay? Alright, so let me just pull some of the flavor profile of this particular bean from Joseph. This one has citrus notes and the hints of apricot, so that's very, very interesting. And it's my first time to brew this, so I want to make sure to have like a really searing hot water to brew it with. Alright, so first let's just measure our beans. I'll be taking some 10 grams for testing. Alright. And let me just try it first with my very own grinder. Okay, so let's start. Let me just check. Alright, so the consistency has to be about medium fine. there is some resistance. It's not that easy. But I guess it's part of manual brewing. Yung may exercise talaga yung biceps mo. And it gets tiring. Okay, you have a few more. Okay, I think okay na. That's right. Wala na, but I'll just give a few more. Okay, para sure. And then, let me just alright, so I will be using this. Lagay muna natin dyan. So we can compare later. And yeah, so let's measure again. 10 grams ulit. Yan. And let's try it out here sa Comandante. Okay. Since it has a bigger mouth, it's easier to put it in. Let's try timing in the grind, okay? So, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, medyo mas easy talaga siya. Parang there's an ease to it. So there's an ease to the grind actually. I hope pareho sila ng grind size. I think wala na. That's 15 seconds. Okay. Okay, so in 15 seconds, wala na talaga siyang laman. It's completely empty. And it's all down here. That's really fast. I'm sure hindi 15 seconds yung nangyari kanina. It was a little bit longer. Alright, so let me just compare this. Okay. With our grind kanina. So let me just put it here very, very carefully. Alright. So let's compare. So here's a close-up look of the grind from the Comandante, and here is a close-up look from my Porlex. Well, to me, they look comparable, to be honest. This is the one from Comandante, and this is the one from my Porlex. Alright, so let me just try to spread it out in a tissue para mas makita natin. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. Tapos, ito yung galing sa Comandante. Ayoko nang ibuhos lahat. Okay. So to be honest, there's not much of a difference. I'll show you like a close-up look. Ayan, so here is from the Comandante. You can see the grind size for pour over. And ito naman yung sa Porlex. Wala masyadong difference, in my opinion. What do you think? Comment down below if you think there's a difference, but in my eye, parang wala. But in terms of ease of use, talagang malaki yung difference niya. Okay, so let's try the brew. How different would it be? Okay, so let me just make sure to pre-wet. Yan na, this is boiling, searing hot. Umuusok pa siya. Okay. There you go. Alright. So, let me just put this here. That's 10 grams worth of Haile Masha Ethiopian beans. Okay. And I will time it first. I was told to make sure na dapat i-time ko yung brew. So, reset. I'm gonna be using this. This is also freshly boiled. And let me just transfer it first here on my gooseneck. Okay, you can see umuusok pa siya. You can't see it, but umuusok siya. Okay, and then let me just pour it here. And I only need 160 grams of water. So, let me just make sure that we'd have that. Okay. So, $69. Look at that bloom. Oh my god. So nice. Okay, let's continue the pour. 107. 118. 142. 156. Oops, tumampas konti. 165. Okay, so I just have to make sure na 165 din yung mamaya. Okay, wala na siyang water. I'm not even sure if I'm like gonna have that much of a difference, knowing na the grind is almost the same, to be honest. But I do feel na sobrang mas mabilis natapos sa Comandante. It took me like a harder time. Much harder time with this Porlex. But for the price, this is only 3,000 pesos. It's a fifth of how much money that I'd have to spend for the Comandante. And as a beginner, I'm more likely inclined to go with this unless that I'm very like serious about coffee home brewing. I really don't know like the intensity of seriousness you have to be to have to buy your Comandante, but it's nice. I mean, you know, as a girl, for my ease of use, if I were going to, I guess, serve coffee for my guests, na manual lang gagamitin ko, diba? I mean, that would be really helpful, and I understand. Comandante is something na talagang prized by a lot of these coffee home brewers. Alright, so I think this is done. So you really just have to throw it out. Okay, next is our second brew. Let me just wash it out first kasi parang may coffee siya, of course, on the side. And mainit pa, kumukulo pa yung tubig. But I'm not gonna use this for brewing. I'm just gonna use it for washing. Okay. And let's put another filter. So ganito pala, just fold the side flap and open it up like this. Ganyan. And then let's just prime it up with water. I'm such a lousy water pourer. Kalat. Punasan natin siya. It's not messy. Alright, so once that is done, just have to discard the water. And I use this milk frother as my saluhan. And I haven't really gone into frothing milk, but hopefully soon. Alright, so we have this. Make sure that no water. Okay. So it's time to dump in the beans, the ground beans that we did for Comandante. Okay. Alright. 9.7 yung yield niya. Hindi ko na compare sa kanina, but very minimal. Alright, so it's time to do our brewing. Okay, open it up. I'm gonna add a little more water. Kaya ako siya nilagay dito sa vacuum flask para, oh, see, it's still mainit. Yan. Kumukulo pa siya. As you can see. Kasi I was told by Joseph na dapat 97 degrees yung water or above. So yan, umuusok pa siya. For me to get the optimum brew of this bean. Okay, so let's start it again. There you go. Okay, that's the first bloom. And let's add again. Steady lang. So this is 102. Look at that. So pretty. 122. 142. Look at that. It's so beautiful. And let me just concentrate to make sure that I hit 165 this time. 155. Oh, malapit na. One drop. Oop. 165.9. Konting lampas, but that's okay. All right. So right now we are using like really boiling hot water. This is, I would say this is about 97 degrees pa and above dahil mainit siya talaga. Let's just wait for this to fall completely and we'll have a taste. So this is the one that we brewed from the grinds using our Porlex Mini. This is what I have, what I personally have. And this is the brew from the grinds that we used Comandante C40. Okay? So there you go. All right. I think that's enough. All right, so we have 2 cups of coffee. Here on the side, we have the ones that we used, my Porlex Mini, and on this side, we have the ones that we used, the beans ground from Comandante. Okay? So let's try. Medyo mainit siya. Honestly, to me, there's no difference. As in, wala talaga. Let me try that again. I don't see any difference in it. Okay, let me just check more about it. So, so it's a natural processed Ethiopian Haile Masha, heirloom varietal. I was just told that this has citrus notes and apricot notes, but I honestly can't taste it. I hope I did everything right. I did forget to time it. Sorry. Next time. There's nothing. There's no difference. Wala talaga. To me, it's the same. Taste-wise, it doesn't affect anything. And to me, to be honest, like even yung grind size niya and yung parang uniformity niya, to me was very, very similar. Not really sure, but I mean, you know, a lot of these coffee connoisseurs, coffee enthusiasts tell me that the Comandante should give you like a better uniformity and stuff. But I don't know, probably this Porlex is still new. It hasn't been used that much. But to me, it's been giving me a nicely uniform grind size. I really don't know. I showed you the close-ups earlier. Comparing the taste, there's not much of a difference for me to want to buy a Comandante, to be honest. In my level of, I guess, coffee consumption, I would still stick to my Porlex simply because it fits my budget. At 3,000, it fits my budget. I guess another alternative from this is Time More C2, which has stainless steel burrs. But to me, I really don't know. I'm honestly fine using ceramic burrs. I guess the problem with that is mas mabilis daw masira yung ceramic burrs versus stainless steel burrs. But what I like about this, and the reason why I chose this, is because I know the parts of this Porlex is easily accessible here in the Philippines. You can, if your burrs get damaged somewhere along the way, you can just replace it, and the burrs are just 800 per piece. It's fairly affordable, to be honest. So it's easily replaceable. It lasts you a long time. And I like the aesthetics of this. I like the all metal body. I like the portability. I like that you can do this and, you know, store it as such, and it's so small. It's not that I'm going to be traveling around with this, but, you know, in storage, I really like things that are more compact and that I could make sure na it doesn't take up so much space. So yung box pa lang, parang alaki na ng Comandante. I was honestly very surprised when I got it. Parang, ano bang laman yan? Ba't nalaki? Because when I got my Porlex, it was just like this. And then when I saw this, this was like, whoa. But then again, you paid 15,000. You paid 5 times more for that. So, the build is nice. It's heavy, so much heavier than this. Build quality is good. Everybody loves this wood handle. Honestly, ease of use, this wins. If you would be grinding for 4 people using your Porlex, you'd probably have a love and hate relationship with coffee home brewing by that time, because it's gonna be so hard, mahirap. To be honest, kahit isang cup lang, sometimes, you know, it's hard, but you'll get used to it. Honestly, if you have 15,000 pesos, would you rather buy a manual grinder or put that money for an automatic grinder? I would put my money on an automatic grinder. If I were to have that money, and if I were looking into serving cups of coffee to guests, to, you know, people, I'd rather have an automatic grinder than have this and, you know, grind it by myself. But it's all up to you and all up to your preference. I know a lot of coffee enthusiasts who are like very, very, I guess, proud to actually have one of these in their homes. And I understand that because it's really beautiful. The feel is very premium. Yeah, this has a metal body and the grounds bin is glass. This one has an all metal body, which I honestly prefer. I try to stay away from breakables because we have so many moving cats here. I really don't like a lot of glass as much as possible. That's why most of my things are in stainless. It's like the theme that I'm going for, but no, it's honestly for practical purposes. I just don't want a lot of breakable things here. So this is okay. I've seen reviews saying how much people love this because the size is actually perfect for a lot of other brewing vessels. Like this fits your AeroPress perfectly. this fits your blah 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 perfectly, blah 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 perfectly. But I feel that that is a very minimal, I guess, characteristic for you to want to buy the Comandante for its price. I know like the technology that's in here is a proprietary thing. It's something that's truly unique with Comandante, and it's actually what makes people want to buy it. Kasi the mechanism inside here would give you a very uniformed grind size all the time. And I understand that with my Porlex, it's not going to be that way in the long run. Like somewhere along the way, the burrs will suffer wear and tear somewhere along the way. You know, the uniformity will not be that great anymore. I know that. But for 3,000 pesos, and I feel that if I maintain it the way I do, like I really clean this up, and I make sure that I'm the one who's doing everything. I don't really let other people handle it. I can prolong the life of this or the quality of uniformity of its grind. And if that, you know, time comes na hindi na siya uniform, I can just replace the burrs and it's good as new. And it would only set me back for what? 1,600 pesos. Versus this is 15,000 pesos. It's quite beyond my budget, but if it fits your budget, I would recommend this. You know, it all boils down to your priorities, right? With that given amount of money, would you spend it on a Comandante? If you are okay with that, then go ahead. Because the price, the technology, the ease of use, the build is okay. I mean, yeah, 15,000, it has to at least feel premium. The make has to be, you know, beautiful, gorgeous, classic looking, something that you can be proud of when you put it on your cupboard and when people see it. You know, the price warrants all that. But with this, for 3,000 pesos, I'm not complaining. To be honest, I'm pretty much happy with this. I am satisfied with this because I did my research. I could have just gone, I mean, if I were like really super tight in budget, I could have just gone with the 500 peso generic grinders that you see online. Those that are made in China or China knockoffs that you can easily buy. I'm sure you can, you know, buy that. But I was thinking, and just like what I always say to other people, try to buy the things that fits your budget. Like as much as your budget permits, so that you won't have the itch of replacing or upgrading them. It's not that you would want to go all out in the first purchase, but you just have to have like a very sound and logical, I guess, train of thought in purchasing things. Like before I got this, I did a lot of research. Ano ba yung ginagamit ng mga tao? What do you recommend? I asked around from people, ano ba yung recommended mo for beginners? Given that, you know, the price wasn't really a question at that time. I was just asking people, what would you recommend for beginners? And the two models that were shared to me was this, Porlex Mini and Time More. And I was into Time More, to be honest. I was planning to buy that, but it's just that it was out of stock at that time. And the reason why I wanted that, because it had stainless steel burrs, which they said were more valuable than having ceramic burrs. Kaya lang out of stock, so I got this instead. But there's no regrets of me having this because I really like it. It's small, it's very compact. And then as time goes on, I see people having troubles with Time More kasi yung ridged edges niya, you know, it's nagagasgasan or may nadudumihan. And, you know, the maintenance part of that is not really okay. So I'm pretty much happy with this kasi this comes in brushed steel finish. So, you know, it looks nice for a long time. Like for years and years, it would look nice. It is prone to like light scratches with other metal things, so I always keep this in the box. I don't really like put it out there lang, just to maintain its freshness, para mukhang bago pa rin siya. This one lang, I can see that, you know, it takes a lot more special handling simply because it's more expensive. Mas masakit sa bulsa kapag nagkaskasan or nalaglag, nabasag, nagka-dent and stuff. You know, it's just so painful because this is 15 grand. This one, kapag nalaglag, nagka-dent, I mean, I can imagine magkaka-dent to pag nalaglag to. It's really, you know, hard to swallow because this is also 3,000 pesos. It's not that cheap. But in my level of, I guess, experience, I would still go for this as a beginner. Maybe if you're someone who's like really much of a coffee drinker, probably you've taken your barista lesson somewhere, or probably you are a barista, I really don't know, you would probably go with this. If you are a home coffee roaster and stuff, I'm sure you'd go with this. But for me, who's someone that just enjoys her coffee, just enjoys grinding her own beans on a weekend, just enjoys the thought of being able to serve like a nice cup of coffee to my friends and let them actually see me, you know, prepare everything from whole beans. I'm honestly pretty happy with this. I'm very, very satisfied with this. So there you go. That's our comparison video. I didn't expect that. I was expecting like it would affect the taste. I was honestly expecting na iba rin yung quality ng grind, but wala masyado. Kasi when some people saw my last video and they saw me having hard time using this, sabi nila it would have been better if I used a Comandante or at least a time more and stuff. So I was sort of feeling bad na parang, bakit? Is it that bad to use this? This was actually referred by some people. But I'm very much happy because there's no regrets. It's the same. It's the same coffee. By the way, I just want to have a quick shout out to Candid Coffee again. I will link them down below. So if you're interested to get your very own Commandante grinder, don't forget to hit them up and get your Commandante from them. They have promos from time to time, so don't forget to check them out. And you can also visit their cafe in Congressional, Quezon City. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions about coffee home brewing, or if you have any other suggestions or curiosities about coffee, don't forget to leave them down through the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!